Today we've got a game of PTG basketball. A game that was most recently sold by Keith Heinrichsen, who passed away last year after a long run as editor of All Sports Digest in the 60s and 70s through the early to mid-1980s. I think maybe one of his brothers was also the editor as well. But they came out with this PTG basketball game in the mid-'60s. I think they must have gotten the rights to the cards, and that's made this game last till about 1990, including some NCAA mixes of teams. And in this particular game, I just pulled a couple from the 1969-70 season. And one of the teams is the Jacksonville Dolphins, who had a fine center in Artis, Gilmore. The Dolphins ended up going all the way to the NCAA Championship, taking a loss 80-69 against the UCLA Bruins, the mighty Bruins. And if you may or may not recall the Bruins, it was the year in between Lou Alcindor leaving and the year prior to Bill Walton actually joining the team. And I think Walton was still on the freshman team probably in 71. I don't think he even was on the varsity yet. It wasn't until 1974 or so when they started allowing incoming freshmen to play on the varsity team. And that made things quite interesting when you have a player of Bill Walton's amazing stature, or Lou Alcindor's for that matter. But anyway, these two teams, Jacksonville, 27-2, as I said, went to the finals. They were led by the 26.5 points a game of Artis Gilmore. He also averaged a mere 22.2 rebounds. They also have a guard that made the NBA. I was going to feature him second. His name was Rex Morgan. And Rex Morgan, as a senior here at 6'5", kind of a guard forward. Looks like he's listed as a forward here, but I noticed in Basketball Reference he played a lot of guard. And he averaged a very robust 9.0 assists. As you'll notice in this game, assists don't really, ball handling is not taken heavily into account. This game is just too old for that. The stats weren't kept for turnovers and other little items which reflected ball handling or ball protection skills. But Rex did average 18.2 points and 9 assists. And he was drafted by the Boston Celtics as they were rebuilding after Bill Russell left. And amazingly, Rex Morgan averaged, after averaging 26.7 as a junior, Gilmore came on, and of course, he had to share the ball with him. And then Rex Morgan drafted second round, fourth pick, 21st overall in the 1970 draft by the Celtics. Ended up having a year of 34 games and 3.4 points, and then 28 games and 2.0 points, and that was it for Rex Morgan. Not as good of a NBA player as he was in college. So a couple of interesting names here, and there's Von Wedeking. He's one of their guards. Let's see what he did. 13.7 points and 4.4 assists as the point guard at only 5'10". And of course, he's going to be opposed by Niagara's Calvin Murphy. And Niagara went into the tournament and actually did reasonably well. They didn't go to too far, but they actually won the first round 79-69 over Pennsylvania. They won 98-73 over Villanova before losing in the East Regional third place game to NC State. They lost by 20, but at least they made it. They were 17th overall, and they were coached by a man named Frank Layden. Yes, that Frank Layden, the heavy-set comedian coach of the Utah Jazz. Quite a character of the game, and but this is where Frank Layden got his start. The team finished 17th in the final AP poll, so the Associated Press, and the Jacksonville Dolphins finished 4th overall, and they were coached by Joe Williams. I don't know that much about Joe. They also scored about 97 points per game, gave up 76, so they were really pretty good spread there. Niagara scored about 84 and gave up 78. In this game of PTG, your clock is based on how many shots you take per 40 minutes. Now, I've got this clock set for about 81 field goal attempts per game, and these teams both are around, let's just see what Niagara will give them, 73 field goal attempts per game, and Jacksonville, they're around 73.7. So there may be times when I'm in this clock and I might jump these bolded areas here and just give them a few less shots, because 81, I'd like to take it more down to like the 75 mark or 76, no big deal there. But anyway, clock only moves when you take a field goal attempt, pretty much. But these lineups are quite interesting. I didn't go over the Niagara team too much. They have a lineup that has Murphy at 29.4, Marshall Wingate, and Wingate's at 11.3. Bob Churchwell is the center, 6'6" center, against the 7'2" Gilmore, and he's at 9.9 points and 10.4 boards. Steve Schaefer at power forward, 11.2 and 8.5 boards, and Wayne Jones looks like 9.5 points and 8.1 rebounds. So they got a little bit of rebounding to spread it out a little bit, and we'll see how they can compete. I just wanted to play some Calvin Murphy. And if you look at these cards, there's two distinctly different looks to them. The other ones look like they've been soiled or dropped in a toilet or something. And really, these are basically, I scanned them off the All Sports Digest pages. They had this occasion to put their some of the lesser known or just on the outer edge teams in their publication, the little newspaper-like tab, and they actually hand wrote, I don't know if one of the Henriksen brothers wrote those cards up or whatever, the numbers on the card, and at least it's legible for the most part, but I took those out, printed them individually so I'd have myself the Purple Eagles of 1969-70. I'd like to see if Calvin Murphy could really pop in some points. This was a year where there's a lot of great individual scorers. The All-America team, just for your information, had Bob Lanier, Murphy on the first team, Dan Issel of Kentucky, Pete Maravich at LSU, and Rick Mount of Purdue. Second team had Austin Carr, Charlie Scott, Jimmy Collins, John Roach, and Sidney Wicks of UCLA. So there was a lot of guys that averaged high point totals. Maravich led the collegiate ranks at 44.5 points per game. Austin Carr, Notre Dame, 38.1. Rick Mount, 35.4. Dan Issel, 33.9. Willie Humes of Idaho State, 30.5. Rich Yunkus of Georgia Tech, 30.1. Rudy Tomjanovich, 30.1. Murphy, 29.4 for Niagara. And so then there's Bob Lanier, 29.1, and Ralph Simpson at 29.0. So a lot of high scorers during this era of collegiate basketball. Let's start off this game and get it going. Play a few minutes of this first half, then I'll jump to the second half, see how things go. The front line man with Artis Gilmore is Pembroke Burrows, and Pembroke is a pretty good rebounder as well. I just want to make sure I got my rebounders where they should be. Let's see, Burrows got a 10, yeah. I guess he's the power forward, but it doesn't really matter. There's the shot cards for both teams. That's how you run things. I'm going to give a die roll to each side. I'm going to give Gilmore a +2 advantage with one die because Churchwell's only 6'6". So here's Gilmore, 3 + 2 is 5, 2, and the Dolphins of Jacksonville have the ball first. So you simply roll these 4 dice, and this gives you your possession, and this is what's going to be on the card. It'll be a 51. This you add together, it's a 5. That's the S3, and these fonts are a little annoying. They're so small. S3 is Rex Morgan, and Rex Morgan gets a 51, and a 51 for Rex is a 6. So he's going to shoot and draw the foul, it looks like. And I'll show you a little position part of the floor play chart. And a 6 fouled in the act of shooting, 2 free throws, and We'll see who the foul is on. There's a little chart, and I will keep that off screen. It just shows who the foul will be on. I should probably just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if it's a 6, we'll just give it to the defender as well. So I'm just going to do it that way. I'm going to change the rules. And that's a 6, so that's just going to be the defender, Marshall, Wingate. All right, so 2 shots for Rex Morgan. And that is just, if you roll where the asterisks are, that means you miss the free throw. Otherwise, you make the free throw. Rex Morgan, that looks like a pretty good foul shooting column. Let me take a look since I got his stats up. Rex Morgan was 73.3, nothing incredible, but you can be a lot worse. And that's a 66. And Morgan obviously makes that first free throw. And a 46. He makes both free throws, and Jacksonville, right off the bat, has the lead 2-0. And the clock technically hasn't moved. I'm actually going to move it because I need to knock off a few shots because there's 81 clock moves. They only average about and that's about 40 per team, so we want 37 per half. Yeah, we need 40 per half. We have 41 per half, so let's go. And matter of fact, I will not move it. I will not move it. Here comes Niagara, and that's a 4. Who's that going to? 4 is the S2. S2 is Wayne Jones, 56. 56 is a 34, and if you look at the chart here, 34 is missed rebounded defensive center unless his man has a defensive class 3 or more higher than the defender. But the center rebounding this is Artis A-Train Gilmore at 23, who basically doubles the rebounding of that. So there's a missed shot. We got an official miss. And that was by the S2. And that is Wayne Jones. Rebounded by Artis Gilmore, and we're off and running. I'm a little slow getting back into the swing of this one. And we lost that. Here comes Jacksonville. Gives it to number 8. And that's the S1. That's Artis Gilmore. 22. 1 slam dunk. Doesn't matter what the defender has. It's a slam dunk for him. And let's see, that 8. Is there an assist on there? Some people re-roll for an assist. I'm going to not do that. The assist would go to Dublin. And Dublin is not in the game, so it's now 4-0 Jacksonville. Are they going to run over Niagara in the first 5 minutes? What's going on? Here we go. We got a 3, and that's an S1. That's Murphy, 24. 24 is a 2, but the defender is a 4 defender. So that is the best defense you can do. So he needed to get a 1 or a 4. He got a 2, so it's a missed shot, C number 38. So that'll be a miss by Murphy. It could be a long afternoon for Calvin Murphy. A 38 on the rebound, and that's missed ball. Ball bounces off rim after deflection of shot by defender. Offensive team rebound. So we're gonna give a block shot to Weddington, and Niagara retains possession. There's no shot clock either, so at this point, and so they'll maintain possession. They'll get the 9, the S1, and that's a 15 for Murphy. 15 is a 24. That's a miss rebound by defensive center. So the Niagara team is 0 for 3. Yeah, I was a little surprised they gave Sindor just a 3 on defense and a B with a fouling rating, so there's a couple fouls he could get. Here comes Jacksonville. There's an 11. That's going to be a really good shot for somebody. 4, and that's the S3. S3 is Morgan, getting 11. That's a 1. Count it. Jacksonville just killing it right now. Assisted by Artis Gilmore. All right, ball goes over to Niagara, down 6-0. And it is a 63, a 6. Ball goes to Murphy, 63. And that's a 6. That's a shooting foul. So we're going to call the foul on a 5. which we'll just say is Rex Morgan, his first. And Murphy's going to get 2 free throws off of that. And as you know, he misses on 14, 15, 16, and 21 here, so this should be fairly automatic. That's a 52. 15 missed, of course. Whenever I say it's automatic, it's not automatic. Rebounding free throws, I'm just going to go simply with the fast break rebounding chart. That's an 8. That's going to be a power forward. I'll let you see it for a second here. There's a fast break used for the entire run. Very easy. Rebounding missed free throws chart there. Much easier than the one provided. And so the rebound goes to the power forward. I'm going to call Burrows a power forward. Average a couple rebounds more. Here comes Jacksonville. Early leader. There's a 4. That's S3. That's Rex Morgan again. 43. 27. That's an automatic miss for Rex. 27 on the board. Offensive left forward. Well, it could be Pembroke Meadows. If defender has a higher rebound class than his man, give that him the rebound. It's a 10 versus a 10, though. He doesn't have a higher rebound class, so we will give Pembroke the offensive rebound. And Jacksonville keeps it. That's a 9. That ball's going to go to the S5. The S5 is Pembroke, and he gets a 24. 24 is a 2. Defender's a 2. Let's see how that works out. I can show you what that looks like. A defender 2, you roll a 2, and that is good. Pembroke Meadows, 4-2. This game's getting out of control in a hurry. What is Niagara going to do? Murphy's got to score, even against that tough defense. Well, we got an 11. And that's an S1. 22 for Murph. 22's a 1. Calvin Murphy makes it over the tough defense of Wecketting, if I'm pronouncing that right. It's not Weed King, I don't think. But anyway, the assist on that particular play, I barely can read it. That would be like Adamanis. Adamanis is on the bench right now. So 8-3. Here comes. Oops, I can't turn. You don't turn that till you shoot. All right. I keep playing other games where you turn the clock on every draw of the card. A 6. S2. That's Von Wiedeking. 65 is an 11. So this will be an interesting one based on Murphy's defense. The 11, and his foul rating there is a C. And it looks like fouled 1 free throw. And I'm pretty sure that's Murphy's first for 1. I'm pretty sure they were doing one-shot fouls in 1970. I'm rolling with that theory. So Woody King's going to get the free throw, and it's a 64, and it's good. Well, yeah, 64 makes 1. I'm pretty sure they had a one-shot free throw. Okay, starting in the 72-73 season, they eliminated the single-shot free throw. However, when you get the 7th team foul, it goes to 1-1 on a non-shooter. Dead ball foul is a 1-1, and that continues all the way. Not until 1991 did they add the 10th foul being an automatic 2 free throw situation. So either way, those rules keep changing, and we got to keep up with them when you're a tabletop board gamer. Here comes Niagara. That is 6. That's an S1 Murph. 13 is a 45. Now that's an odd number because it could be injuries, it could be technicals, it could be jump balls. A 45. I think Murphy, his defender's going to steal the ball because if he's class 3 or 4, and he's a class 4, takes on steal. The wording is really great with these PTG boards. So Murphy with a turnover. The great defense of Vaughn Wedeking gets the steal. And Jacksonville continues to pump it up here. Let's go 6. That's an S. S2. Why am I struggling so much to read that? S2, 51. 51's a 1, and Wedeking is going to score on that one. And Jacksonville is just blistering hot. Nelson will get an assist on the play. It is 11-3, and Jacksonville's at 80% from the floor. You're not going to win many games if you can't stop them like that. That's an 8. That's an S4 and a 61. So S4 is Marshall Wingate. 61 is a 3, and the defender is a 2. And you can see the defender being a 2. A 3 does not stop him. So Marshall Wingate's going to get a basket here. No problem. Nice play by Marshall. Check for the assist. Churchwell gets the assist. Once again, some people re-roll that random assist number to randomize that. But I'm not going to worry about it today. We're just passive assists anyway. Here comes mighty Jacksonville. Here we go. 2. S1 Gilmore. 43-24. No good. Miss by Gilmore. Rebound by the opposing center. Whenever you see a 24, that's pretty much a standard miss and rebound. I'll show you right here from 22-26. Automatic rebound. 24 is the center. 22-23 are forwards, and 25-26 are guards. So, and some do ask if there are, is there a, do the rebound ratings matter? Yes, they do. And it all comes down to a lot of the results coming here where there are modifiers for the rebound here and here as well. There's just some standard rebounds, just like there would be on some fast action cards or play action cards. So they thought about that. The good rebounders are going to get the rebounds. They'll get the offensive rebounds. There's no instant putbacks or anything. It's very methodical in that respect, but definitely good rebounding definitely wins games in PTG basketball. Here we go. 5. 5 is an S2. S2 is Wayne Jones, 65. 21. That looks like an automatic miss unless the defender is a D or if the defender is class 4 and he's not. So that's Pembroke Barrows. Missed by Wayne Jones. And that 21, offensive right guard with the rebound. So Wingate with the offensive rebound here. And Niagara gets a little lucky right there. We get a 6, which is an S1 Murph. 51 on Murphy's a 6. That's a shooting foul. And so we're going to see who that foul is going to be on. That's a 3. That's Artis Gilmore. So how interesting is that? I know it was I think Murphy averaged 3.6 fouls per game, but I think he plays like every minute of the game. So Murphy's going to go to the line, try to make this a little bit closer game. 2 free throws. Great foul shooter. Watch me hex it again. Oh, 13. Almost did it. Didn't do it. The future Houston Rocket has 5 points. Artis Gilmore has 2 points and 2 rebounds so far. We'll see if they get close to the real-life numbers. And we got a 5. 5 is S3. That's going to be Rex Morgan. And it's a 15. 15's a 42. I think that's a turnover. 42 is an automatic turnover. Charging on offense. So Rex Morgan picks up a second foul. Might have to go to the bench in a second here. Here comes Niagara. And that's a 66 roll. So whoever gets this is a 5 S2. S2, 66-1. Wayne Jones with an automatic dunk. Little run by Niagara. They're not out of it by any means. Schaefer with the assist. The funny thing is I can read this chicken scratch with the slightly bigger numbers easier than the minute numbers on Jacksonville's card. And it's 11-9. And let's see. That's a 3 for Jacksonville. That's an S1. A-Train 43-24. Another miss by Artis Gilmore. Rebounded by Churchwell. Comes Niagara. They're not giving up. They got a 5. 5 is S2 again. That's going to be Wayne Jones. Jones 65-21. It's that same missed shot I believe he got before. So Jones will miss. The 21, like I said, defender's not a D. Defender's not a class 4. 21 right guard. Wingate, another offensive rebound. Funny how you can roll that same number, 1 in 36 chance, within a minute of each other. Niagara still with the ball. Ball goes to the 7. The 7 is the S3, which is Steve Schaefer. 14 on Schaefer is a 4. Defender is a 3. And a 3 defender only stops a 3, so the 4 is going to be good. Schaefer over Nelson. First shot of the game for Schaefer. We're tied at 11. And Murphy's going to get credit with an assist. Here comes Jacksonville. Well, we got a 3. S1, that's Gilmore. 21. 21's a 6. That's going to be a foul. 2-shot foul, as a matter of fact. It's going to be on 3. It's going to be on Churchwell, and that is his first. A-Train from the free throw line. Everybody wants to know that, probably. Let's see. Jacksonville. Gilmore. 6-34. Not great. Not as bad as Chamberlain, but 54, it's good. And 12. 12 is good. So good shooting by the A-Train, who's only 1 for 3 from the field, but he's now got 4 points. Jacksonville regains the lead. Here comes an 8. 8 is going to be S4. Marshall Wingate with a 22. 22 is a 1. You can count that one. Marshall White now with 4. And the 8, the assist would be to Churchwell. Couple of assists already for Churchwell. Here comes Jacksonville with a 46. And 11 goes to the S1 A-Train, 46. What is that? 24. Another 24 for a really good field goal shooter. Artis shoots in the 6. I thought he shot about 60%. But another missed shot and another rebound for Churchwell, who's just plucking those out of the air. A-Train shoots 58% from the field. Here comes the 9. It's going to be S1 Murph. 54 on Murph. That looks like a 2, but that's going to be a miss. Is that the famed block shot by Wecketing? Yes, I believe so. It's a 38. C38 it says. And 38 is the block shot knocked out of bounds. So another Murphy miss. Those 2s just aren't going to work against Wecketing. But at least Niagara gets the ball knocked out of bounds. Offensive team rebound. They get it back. 64 for number 3. Murphy again, 64 this time. He's got a 3, and that's another miss because of the defense of Wecketing. C37. I don't want to go over that. We'll skip it. Murphy's really struggling because of the great defender, and there is a nice defensive feel to this game considering how old it is. So 37 bounces off the rim. Team rebound for the defense. So this time, Jacksonville gets the ball. All square at 13. And that's going to be a 6. Jacksonville hands it to their S2 Wecketing, who's had a great game. 15-42 offensive foul. Wecketing, that's a 42. That's not a good number. And that's going to be first foul on Wecketing. And let's see what Niagara can do. The Purple Eagles against the Dolphins. Great mascots. Let's see, that's an S2. S2's Wayne Jones, 23. 23 looks like a... Is that a 23 or a 33? That's a 23. So that's an automatic miss for Wayne. I'll have to see what Wayne hit from the field. He's 1 for 5. 23 is an auto rebound to the right forward. We'll give it to Nelson. Hands the ball off to the 9. That's the S5. That's going to be Burrows. And a 16 for Burrows is a 5. And I believe that, my friends, is a basket and foul. So give Burrows the basket. Jacksonville by 2. And we'll check for the assist real quick. That's Wecketing doing a little bit of everything. And we got to determine who the foul is on. That's a 2. Schaefer's first. And the great foul shooting of 571 for Burrows. You can see there are a lot of asterisks on his column there. 23, that's going to be a miss. We'll use the good old fast break rebound chart. That's a 10. I believe that's still a center. Yep, defensive center. Churchwell, 4 rebounds. Niagara comes back with a 9. That's S1 again. Murphy dominates this position shooting. 15 for Murph, 24 no good. Rebound Gilmore. Some of the results in PTG are incredibly fast. Select that one. A-Train with the board. And there's an 11 for whoever gets it. It's a 4. That's your S3. And Rex Morgan is going to get an 11-1. Put her in right away. Rex Morgan with 6. And Artis Gilmore with the assist of his high-scoring teammate. So it's 17-13. Dolphins over the Purple Eagles. Well, we got a 10. That's going to be Murph. 24 on Murphy is a 2. Once again, not going to make it. Too good a defense. Murph's missed 4 in a row. 6 out of 7, I think. Great defense being played. Really hard to score with those 4 defenders. That's a, what did I say? 24 is a 30. Oh, the 2. It was the 2. That's a 38. And the 38, is that the semi-block? Let's find out, make sure I got that right. Yeah, offensive team rebound. Missed by Murphy. Offensive team rebound number 3. And Wecketing getting credit for too many block shots, but I just like to do that for the fun of it, just see how dominating he was on defense. Defensive stop, if anything. They regain possession. S4 Wingate 56. Wingate is a 33. Now that should be a miss. I'm going to put the miss down here. 33. Miss by Wingate. And, oh, the rebound is the whole factor here. Yeah, 56. What was that again on Wingate? 33. It's going to be defensive right forward with the rebound. Nelson. unless there's a big difference in rebounding, which there is not. Nelson clears. And here we go. That is a 14 after a 10 S2 Wecketing. 14 is a 4. Murphy's defense is a 3. Might stop that. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. If he was a defender 2, he would have. But on a 4, it is good. And the 5'10 Wecketing scores on Murphy. Wecketing not being as heavily defended as he is doing to Calvin Murphy. Assist on the play will be McIntyre, who is not in the game, and it is 19-13 Jacksonville. Down to 13 minutes left in the first half. And I will jump that if we have that there. There's a 4. That's an S2. That's going to be Wayne Jones, 65-21 again. That same exact number. So we're gonna go here. Miss by Wayne. We know all the modifiers are no different. Offensive right guard rebounds again. Marshall Wingate. That is just pure luck to have that 3 times in less than 10 minutes of gameplay. And there's a 66 for whoever gets it. That is an S1, and Calvin Murphy deserves this because of the great defense that's being played on him. Calvin's going to have to really work to get 29 points. He's now got 7. It's 19-15, and Wingate's going to get credit with an assist. 3 offensive rebounds for Wingate. Very odd that happened on Wayne Jones' card every time. 3 65s. Happens in APA just the same way. It's just how those things happen. S4 when I roll a 7, and that's going to be Greg Nelson. He's got a 25. And that's a 24. That's an automatic miss. Those are easy to rack up. Churchwell just raking in the rebounds as Jacksonville is still hitting 58%. And here comes Niagara. That's a 22. There's a 5. That's an S2. That's going to go to Wayne Jones. Hey, I didn't roll a 65 again. 22 is a 1. You can count that one. Wayne Jones gunning and finally making some. And what is Wayne? What's the assist on that one? That was a 5. It's Schaefer. Schaefer's going to get his 2nd assist at the ball game. Front line getting some assists. It's 19-17. Hitting the 11:45 mark right here. I can't do anything with that roll right there. It will not change. I'm going to give that a 33, I think. This is a pool table. It does not move. I'm going to give him the 33, though. And that's an 8. S1. That's going to be Artis Gilmore, 33. What is that? That's a 1. Give it to the A-Train. It's good. And it's 21-17. Assist on the 8 is Dublin, not in the game. Here we go with an 8. S4, that's going to be Marshall Wingate. 44 for Wingate is a 1. You can count that one right back. 21-19. And assist Churchwell. Here comes Jacksonville. There's an 8. 8's the A-Train. 53. 53 is a 23. Another auto miss for A-Train. I'm really surprised I'm not hitting more for him so far. 23. Right forward, Schaefer. Clears for the Purple Eagles. And we got a 9. S1, that's Murph. Murphy with 35. 35 is a 4. And that actually might be good on a Defender 1. Yes, a Defender 4. And it is. Murphy ties it up. Stroke of luck from Murph. He's got 9 points. He's gunning his way. He wants his 29.4. Yeah, I can't remember what I roll. Is it a 9? I can't remember. Yeah, I don't think that's like Samuel. Here comes Jacksonville with a tie score. And that's a 4. 4 is an S3. That's Rex Morgan, 45. Which is a 4 against a 2 defender. And that's going to be a missed shot by Rex Morgan. Good defense by a 2 defender. 4 is the best. And a 2. C number 34 in the rebound. Defensive center, unless his man has a higher 3 or more, which is definitely true. Gilmore is 23-11 ahead. Offensive rebound, A-Train. Jacksonville stays alive, and that's a 2. S1, A-Train, 31. What do we got? 31 is a 3. Defender is a 2. And that's good. A-Train dumps it in. Give A-Train 8 points and 4 rebounds. Assist would be to Hawkins, but he is not in the game. We're getting close to the 10-minute mark. Niagara with an 8. 8's S4, that's Wingate. 35. And that is a 9. Now, that's an interesting one. A 9 for Wingate. What's the defender letter? It's an A. 9. Missed. C30. Good defense by Morgan. So Wingate will miss. C30. 30 is even an offensive left guard. If the defender has a rebound class higher than his man, though, he doesn't get it. So Wecketing has a 2, Murphy has a 4, so Murphy does get it. Murph. Offensive glass. We'll see what we get here. It's a 5S2. That's Wayne Jones, 34. 33. So we're pretty sure that's going to be a missed shot. I'll just jump that. Then less 33. Defensive right forward with the rebound. Nelson, 3 or higher. Nope, it's close enough. Nelson grabs the rebound for Jacksonville. Let's do one more play for the Jacksonville Dolphins. And that's going to be an 11. That's an S1 Gilmore. That's a 32 on the A-Train. And that's a 44, which is a very strange number as well. That could be just a turnover. Traveling on Artis Gilmore. Niagara will take over. Oh, I've got Jacksonville at 23 points. The Niagara Purple Eagles, 21 points. 10 minutes to play in this first half of NCAA basketball with PTG. Okay, 4 minutes to play, and this score is not a misprint. Rex Morgan just dumped home a basket, giving him 26 points. And Artis Gilmore has gone ballistic with 41 points and 24 rebounds. And the Jacksonville Dolphins have just run over the Purple Eagles in the last 10 to 15 minutes. They're shooting 61%. Niagara has fallen to 39.7%. Holy cow. Calvin Murphy still in the game with 4 fouls, struggling from the field, 12 for 33 for 30 points, but he just cannot throw it in the ocean. And I took out his defensive nemesis, Von Wedeking, with about 10 minutes to play. So he's had a mediocre defender, a 2 defender on him instead of a 4. Still can't score. But either way, this is Jacksonville's all the way. I'm keeping Gilmore in, Morgan in, Murphy in. There's no crunch time. There's no garbage time here. We're just going to play it out. 4 minutes on the clock. And we got a 7. That's going to go to the S3. That's going to be Mike Brown. 56 is a 6. So that's going to be a foul on Jacksonville's Rod McIntyre. So that's going to give Brown a pair of shots. Both teams over the limit at 7+ fouls. 42 for Brown. 25 good. Brown hits him. Niagara just forgot how to shoot in the last 10 minutes, so a relatively, reasonable game turned into a blowout. And here comes Jacksonville. We got ourselves a 4, which is an S3, which means Rod McIntyre. Good first name. 46. That's a 32. Most likely a miss. Yeah. Miss by McIntyre. 32 is a rebound to the defensive left forward. But if his man has a rebound class of 3 or more higher, you give it to the offensive player. And so McIntyre's a 7 to a 3, and he's grabbing his own rebound right back. Jacksonville still not quitting, even with a big lead of 29. Here we go. There's a 9. S2, and I rolled a 46 for Rex Morgan. 28, and that's most likely a miss as well. Yeah, miss by Rex. He'd been very hot, red hot in this half. 28 is going to be offensive right forward, unless the defender has more than his man. See, offensive right forward Nelson has a 9. Wayne Jones has a 10, so Wayne's going to win that battle for the Purple Eagles, who come down. Give it to the 5, which is S2. Wayne Jones, who's had a terrible shooting day, 46. Continues that terrible shooting day with a 34. Miss shot. 1 for 5 in the half. And let's see. He does have 8 points and 5 rebounds. 34. Yeah, it's a battle of the centers. Gilmore's going to get it. He's grabbing virtually every rebound, and there are plenty of them, as Niagara cannot throw it over Niagara Falls right now. Let's see here. 8. That's a 42 for Gilmore. 42 is a 10. Defender's a C. A 10 is fouled in the act of shooting. And therefore, 2 more shots for the A-Train, who's 9 for 13. Let's see if we can make one here. That's a 66 good. 53 good. So Artis Gilmore continues his onslaught. 43 points. Jacksonville with 102. .102.71 lead. Here's a 10. That's an S1. 41. Murphy hits. Calvin Murphy still has the gun in the holster. Give him 32 on the day. 102.73. And Brown with the assist on that play. Here comes Jacksonville, still trying to run up the score a little bit here. Why not? Don't get to play these guys that often. Let's see. 4, that's an S3. 61 for McIntyre is a 3 against a 2 defender. And that's good. McIntyre hits. Coming off the bench, McIntyre does not play that many minutes. Gives him 6 on the game. Assist on that play would go to Gilmore, A-Train. A-Train gets himself an assist. He's not been dumping it off all that often, so he has 3 assists. That's not bad for the big fella. Becomes a little better passer in the professional leagues. Let's see. That's a 9. That's Murph. 51 for Murph. That's a 6. He's going to draw a foul. And that's a foul on Rex Morgan. That's 3. Murphy's missed a couple free throws here. It's kind of not his style. 66 is good. 23 is good. Murphy hits those. Runs him up to 34 points for the game. 104.75. Got to keep that average up, apparently. Nope, just lost a die in the pocket. Jacksonville. That's a 9S5. Low man on the total, Rusty Baldwin, who has 2 points today. 36 is a 1. He now has 4. Rusty Baldwin, as they continue to run it up. Assist on that play would go to Wedeking, but he's not in. And here comes Niagara. Murphy, 23, 22, no good. Murphy's going to get 40 shots off today. 22 automatic rebound to the left forward. And that's McIntyre, the lanky 6'10 player. Not a lot of tall trees back in 1970. That's pretty tall to go with Gilmore. Pembroke is also another 7-footer. Very unusual. There's a 2. It's going to Gilmore, 36. Slam it home, A-Train, 108.75. Gilmore with 45 points. Outside shot at 50 if he really turns it on. He's been on the entire game. Assist on the play, Hawkins. Nope, he's not in. Here goes Niagara 4S2. That's Wayne Jones, 13-24. Another brick for Wayne. He is just not hitting. And, of course, that falls right into the lap of the A-Train. Give him 26 rebounds. 1:30 showing on the clock almost here, and we got ourselves a 6. S2, that's going to go to Rex. 56 on Rex, 33, that's a miss for Rex. 33, defensive right forward. If the other man has a higher rating, nope, Wayne Jones, good rebounder. Decent rebounder, hasn't been able to throw the ball in the basket, but an 8, S4, Churchwell, 62, 22, that's going to be a miss for Churchwell. He has not hit a field goal. He's got 1 point and 11 rebounds. That was a 62-22. 22 is an auto rebound to the left forward. McIntyre clears as we play out the final minute. 108-75. Here we got an 8 Gilmore, 65-11 against a C defender. And that's it for Churchwell. 1-shot foul. It'll be 1-1. Oh, wait, he's got a 1 free throw. Yeah, it's a 1-1 situation, isn't it? So foul on Churchwell. Couldn't let me get to the end of the game without fouling out. Gilmore to the line with a 1-1 opportunity. All right, Steve Schaefer back in the game. 1-1 for A-Train. That's a 15, no good. Oops. Rebound the free throw. 7, that's the center. Schaefer's in at center. Gives him 4 rebounds for the night. We're down to just over a minute. That's an 8. That's an S4. That's going to be Schaefer with an 11. Slam dunk. Schaefer comes in, scores. He just wasn't playing any defense. I took him out. He was giving up points like crazy. 108.77. And the assist, no assist on the play. Here comes Jacksonville 6. S2, Rex Morgan having a good game. 22-1, it's good. 110 points. Rex Morgan, I might have played a couple extra plays in this one just to get the field goal attempts just right. Morgan makes that. There's an assist on the play. Nelson gets another assist. And that's 25-21, the assists in favor of Jacksonville. Obviously, Jacksonville is hitting better from the floor. It's 60% to about 40%. There's an 11, S1. There's our own favorite, Calvin Murphy, 64. That's a 3 against a 2 defender. It's good. Calvin Murphy drills it. Okay, Murph, 36 points. Looks like it'll be his final total. And Adamanis with the assist, a little used forward coming off the bench. 9 S5, that's going to be Rusty Baldwin. What a great name, 24. 24 is a 2. A 2 against a 3 defender. It's good. Rusty Baldwin dumps it in. 6 points off the bench for Rusty Baldwin. Assisted goes to nobody. Here we are playing out the final play of this game. 8 S4. Steve Schaefer, 64, is a 3 against the A-Train. 3 defense. Forces the missed shot by Schaefer. Good D by A-Train. At the final buzzer, rebound is a 29, says offensive center, but no, A-Train's going to grab it. Hang on to it. And that is your final score. Jacksonville, 112. Niagara Purple Eagles, 79. Big half. Outscored them 59-30 in the second half. That is a crazy stat there. They just ran away with this game. Artis Gilmore, your game MVP, 45 points, 27 rebounds. Kind of crazy. And 3 assists. Other contributors were Pembroke Burrows with 14 points on 6 for 6 field goal shooting, 8 rebounds. Good power forward play. Greg Nelson had 0 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, though. And Vaughn Wacketing had 9 points and just 1 assist, but played great defense on Calvin Murphy. Rex Morgan played like a All-American. I think he was on the honorable mention team. 12 of 19, 4 of 4 from the line, 28 for the game. And he even dealt out 5 assists, a little below his average of 9. For Niagara, who only shot 39.5 from the field. You got 10 points out of Steve Schaefer. Got a couple in garbage time. Churchwell played 34 minutes before fouling out, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 point. Just took 2 shots, though. Murphy, 14, 4, 36, 36 points, 8 of 10 free throws. So 4 assists. Marshall Wingate fouled out a little too soon. Had 6 points before fouling out. Mike Samuel came through with 16 points off the bench. So a good game for those Jacksonville Dolphins. Niagara kept up with them in the first half. They only were trailing by 4, but they broke it open about 5 minutes into the second half and ran away with it. And the final stats show 60.8 from the field for Jacksonville, 39.5 from the field for Niagara. Fouls 19-13 Niagara. 3 blocks to 1 for Jacksonville, 3 steals to 2. Those aren't really accurate stats by any stretch of the imagination. 25 assists to 22 for Jacksonville. Rebounding 53-35 Jacksonville. That makes a difference. Gives them a few extra shots from the floor. Although Niagara ended up shooting more field goal attempts, 81-74. Jacksonville shot more free throws, 22 of 31 for 71%, 15 of 19 for Niagara for 78.9%. Anyway, that was a heck of an NCAA basketball game, and the final 112-79 Dolphins. Have a good day, everyone.